Welcome to Ballpark Nuts with Caleb, Bryson, Marshall, and Chase. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Fantasy Friday. We are looking at second base today, so we're going to be running through our top 10 second base. And without further ado, Caleb, take it away there.
Oh, my number 10, I got Brendan Rodgers of the Colorado Rockies. He had a very underrated season last year, hitting 13 bombs, 266 average, had a great slugging percentage of 408. Probably gets overlooked because he's on a very bad team. But Fangraphs has him projected at hitting 17 bombs, 280 average, which is really good out of the second base position. You get a bit of power, good average. And yeah, I think he's very underrated. That's why I have him at my 10.
Yeah, I had him just missing my list.
Yeah, he's also an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, same here.
Nice.
Alrighty. Well, I'll move on to my number 10. I got Brendan Donovan, the rookie. He came in swinging about 281. Not much power behind him, but I think maybe if he figured it out, he could probably add some pop to that bat. He's very young. He's got a lot of potential, and I think the Cardinals have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, what is he, 26?
What he can bring. I'm not sure exactly, but he's rookie, so I'm guessing fairly young. But yeah,
I think he's around 26.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a solid guy. He plays a lot of positions for them. So
good versatility.
You get a lot of position eligibility from him.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with my number 10, I got Ozzie Albies, and I think he's got super high potential to be way ahead on this list. His injury-marred season last year kind of tampered with his rankings this year, I would say. But by end of year, going into next year, I'd say he's top 5. He just missed it because of injuries. If he doesn't play again this year because of injuries, I think Vaughn Grisham slides in at 2 bag, and I think he has high potential to end up top 5 by the end of the year.
Very true.
All right, and for me, at my number 10, I have Jeff McNeil of the New York Mets. He had a really good season last year as far as batting average went, hitting 326. But I don't think that's necessarily repeatable for him. But a lot of projection systems have him hitting 287, 10 dingers, and 63 RBIs. So that's a pretty good number if you ask me. And he's also got a low K rate, so you like that for fantasy. He doesn't strike out a lot, and it could probably hit even better just being in that Mets lineup. So
yeah, that low K rate helps you out. That low K rate helps you out points leagues and categories, especially categories winning, kind of trying to win that strikeout category.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty. My number 9, I got Luis Arraez of the Miami Marlins. Again, he would be higher on the list if he hit for power and drove in some runs, but like bats 316, second among second basemen last year, and he has lowest K rate in the MLB. But once again, that power, not being able to drive people in, not a lot of home runs. I think just a lot more second basemen bring a lot more to the table than he does, and that's why I have him at 9.
Yeah, I can respect that. I have him a little higher on my list, but I can definitely see him going a lot of places on these lists.
Yeah, even if he stole some bases, that would make him more valuable, but he just doesn't even do that very well. So
he's a bit of a round guy, a bit of a bigger guy.
Yeah.
At least his face is, anyways. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, at my number 9, I have Ozzie Albies. Chase also had him fairly low on this list. I have him low just because of injuries. I'm sure Chase mentioned that. He only played 64 games last year. He did hit only 247 as well, which isn't really like him. I think if he can stay healthy, top 5 for sure. But for now, I got to leave him at 9.
Yeah, just that potential, but...
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Okay, and my 9, I got Gene Segura. And I think he has potential to definitely be around my 5-6 spot, but a little bit of injury last year brought him down a few games. I think he played like 95 plus, right around 100 games, so missed around 60 plus games. But over those 90 some games, he had 13 stolen bases and 10 home runs. So he's got some speed and he's got some power. So he's got a little bit of that for that second base position, as well as he hit 277. So He's got good average as well. So I think he has potential to move up around that 5-6 spot by the end of the season if he can just stay healthy for it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
for
like him
health is-
personally. I got him on my team, so
Yeah.
That's
You're
fair.
welcome.
Awesome. For me at number 9, I have Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
yeah, boy.
He is my boy. He had a down year last year. Didn't have a great year, but I do think our lineup got slightly better. Not a ton better, but a little bit better.
Yeah,
And so I think that's going to help him out a bit. And having Gurriel there is going to be big for him. Going to help him just feel more comfortable in the clubhouse. And ATC has him projected hitting 268, 16 homers, 66 RBIs, and a 336 WOBA. And I started really looking into WOBA more recently, ever since I've been using Fangraphs more. Shout out to Fangraphs. But it just kind of takes into account for more of like his average, but like when you get on base and it actually leads to runs. So the higher WOBA you have, the more times you got on base and actually led to your team scoring runs. So a 300 is pretty average for the MLB, around like 3 to 320. So they're projecting for a 336, so that's a pretty decent WOBA. So I think he's a key part of the Diamondbacks lineup, and I think he's going to bounce back this coming season.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Alrighty,
like him
number
as well.
8. Oh.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
You
number
go.
8, I got Nico Horner of the Chicago Cubs. He played
Nice.
shortstop last year, but Dansby Swanson's a Cub now, so he'll be playing a lot of second base.
Yeah,
Last
he'll
year
be
he
taking
slashed
over.
281, 327, 410, added 10 home runs, 55 RBIs, also added 20 stolen bases, so does a little bit of everything. And I think the Cubs lineup got a little better, so I can see those improving a lot.
I forgot to add Nico to my list, even though I'm super high on him. I just think that he's just going to be getting better as long as his health is fine. Like last year is his first full season, but like if his health is fine, I think he's going to be key part in that Cubs lineup. He hits a great average.
For sure.
Great average, steals bases.
Great
Yeah.
average. Yeah. Up and coming star, I think, for sure. Alrighty.
Just no love in Chicago.
No love in Chicago. Well, maybe now that they're better.
Yeah.
Anyways, for 9, number 8, I have Jorge Polanco. He had a bad year last year. He only hit 235. Decent power. He hit 16 home runs and 56 RBIs. I'm not going to say much about the RBIs. He plays on the Twins team. That's not offensively phenomenal by any means. But he is a career 270 hitter, so that's very respectable. I think he had a great year this year. I think I have it in one of my write that downs, that something about a prediction about him doing fairly well. So I'm pretty high on him. I have him on my fantasy team, and I'm looking forward to hopefully a good year out of him.
Yeah. I had him just missing my list just because of his season last year, but he's up there as well. But like and at my number 8, I got Brendan Donovan, kind of for the same reasons as you there, Shell. He's got good average at 281 last year. Only thing is he's got kind of really no power and no speed. He only took 2 bags and hit 5 home runs last year. Maybe he gets a couple more this year, but yeah, he does a little lacking on the power, a little lacking on the speed, but he's got that good average. He's got a good squad around him in St. Louis, as well as he's young, so he's got lots of years in front of him. So he's definitely a good guy to be taking a peek at later in rounds.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree. For my number 8, I have Jonathan India of the Cincinnati Reds. He was pretty banged up last year, so I don't really take a lot into account of last year. His downside is he does have a pretty high K rate, and he plays for the Reds, so that's kind of two tough things going against him. But ATC has him projected hitting 255, 16 home runs, and 59 RBIs, and you'll throw in, I think, about 8 to 10 stolen bases for you. So the reason I have him ahead of Marte is because of the potential for the stolen bases.
Right. Stolen base is a big category. Like you don't have, especially in category leagues, like you don't have guys swiping bags all the time. So
no, if you can get an extra 8 to 10 from somebody, you'll take that.
Exactly.
Especially this year, there's going to be a lot of bag swiping.
3 inches extra.
Those are some big bags.
Some big bags. I guess 6 inches extra because 3 on first base, 3 on second makes 6.
Right.
So
yeah, no, it's gonna make a big difference because man, a lot of replays that are just bang bang, like that's just not gonna be a thing no more, right? The runner's just gonna win those every time. So
6 inches is massive.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
More than people realize, for sure. More
Which
than
is
people realize.
man.
I'll go
Alrighty.
for your 7, Caleb.
My number 7?
Yeah.
Wait, is it my turn? Yeah.
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 My number 7? Brandon Lau of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Ooh, yep.
Ooh, I know he only played in 61 games last year, but I'm basing this off his 2021 season where he hit 39 home runs and 99 RBIs. If he could stay healthy, he's potentially a top 5, maybe even top 3 second baseman in the league. I think Fangraphs has him projected to hit 27 bombs, 242 average, which isn't that high, but
If you're hitting
It's a lot of-
27 bombs, though, you're taking that.
driving in 100 RBIs, that's exactly what you want out of him.
Yeah.
So
you're
I just
taking
couldn't leave him off the list. It's based off if he stays
Potential.
healthy or not, but I still
Yeah.
like him on my list at 7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
fair enough.
personally am him and McNeil, or not McNeil, well, McNeil as well. Him and Lau, or oh my goodness, him and Nico Horner are kind of. I like both of them. Injuries are kind of tough for them, but I like both their potentials.
Right.
Yeah,
they both
Lau
have
is-
high, good ceilings.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty. Well, for my 7, I believe, I'll say a quick comment about Brandon Lau. He was on my list and he was fairly high, but that one season Caleb's talking about, great season, but it's his only season out of maybe 4 or 5, 6 seasons he's had total. He doesn't play much, so I couldn't put him on just for the purposes of other guys.
No, that makes sense.
Ozzy I had to put so low, and I wouldn't particularly put him over Ozzy, but he definitely has that potential to be on this list and very high on this list, in my opinion.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
for my 7, I have Gleyber Torres.
Yep.
Maybe he's too high. I don't know. I'm really high on him. I think he's a clutch hitter. I'm a Yankees fan personally, so there
You
might
got
be
to be a
bias.
little biased.
So yeah, but I love the stuff I see from him. He's just the guy you want in the clubhouse. Just a beauty all around. He's got good pop. I mean, he hit 24 home runs last year in 140 games. That's pretty good for like 2 beggars on this list. There's not many that have been putting up much home
Yeah.
runs. So,
He was up there on home runs, right in the I think 3rd in home runs.
yeah. So I think if he can do another year of like a 260, 25 home runs, 80 RBIs, if you're a Yankees fan, that's pretty solid. So I
Yeah,
think
I'm
he can
taking
do
that
it.
as well.
So, yeah, that's my number 7.
And I got Ketel Marte at number 7. Bryson mentioned him. I think Marshall, I think you mentioned him. Maybe you guys all mentioned him already. But yeah, I got Ketel Marte. Down season last year, like Bryson said. He's got 12. He had 12 home runs last year, so it's not like super power, but I think he's got more power than he had last year. Showed so. Yeah, but he'll hit for a decent average if he can pull it back from last year, and then he get a couple more home runs. But his kind of stolen bases are a little low, but he's a solid pick there and at a number 7 spot.
I like it.
Yeah, and you can get him pretty cheap this year in fantasy, like in redraft leagues. He's going pretty late, so
Yeah,
I think that's a good value.
he's a good take at a lower round.
Yeah. For me, at number 7, I also have Jorge Polanco, just because I think that he did have a down year last year, and like ATC has it projected for 22 homers and 74 RBIs, which I think in a Twins lineup that, yeah, like Marshall said, isn't necessarily gonna anything to write home about. I still think they're decent enough that he can get up over 70 RBIs if he does bounce back, which I assume he's going to. So that's why I have him at my number 7.
Yep, fair enough.
Love it. I love it.
Alrighty, number 6. I got Jeff McNeil of the New York Mets. Again, like I think Bryson already went over him. He like led the league in average last year of 326 average, low strikeout rate. But like as Arises doesn't hit many home runs and doesn't drive in many runs, but
Yeah,
I think that'll go up. I think, but I just think there's 5 guys that are better than him in my opinion. And
Fair enough.
if he hit more home runs, he'd probably be way higher. But
yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, if you could add a little bit of power, he'd be a stud.
For sure.
yeah,
Alrighty. Well, for my number 6, I have Nico Horner. I just haven't seen much of him. I mean, his first full year was last year, I believe. Don't get me wrong; it was a very good year. The boys have talked about him. He's hit 281, 10 home runs, 55 RBIs. Not great, but he also didn't play on a very great Cubs team. That will be different this year. I think, like the lineups very much improved. He'll be pitched to more. He'll have that more RBI potential, and I think he could probably do 75, 80. Hopefully that's maybe high, but I think he can do it. I'm very high on Nico Horner, and I like him at my 6.
I like him as well.
I feel bad I left him off my list.
Yeah, I also
But
feel bad I left him.
I just
But-
forgot that he was honestly going to be probably moving to second. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am high on him
completely-
too, but he's not going to be on my list. But yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying.
Yeah, I completely forgot about him on my list too, but I am pretty disappointed I did. But yeah, I got number 6. I got Colton Wong. And my kind of 6, 7, 8 guys, I could have interchanged them really. They're all so similar stats. I edged out Colton Wong just a bit because he's got a little bit more speed. He's got 17 stolen bases last year. Kind of a standard batting average, right above 250 there. Yeah, lacks some RBIs, but it's tough to get RBIs when your team doesn't get on base. So that's that. But yeah, the decent power, 15 home runs, and then yeah, he's got pretty good speed with 17 stolen bases. So that's why I kind of edged him out, put him at number 6.
Yeah, makes sense. For my number 6, I have Max Muncy. He's also
Hot
a guy
take.
who, yeah, I think it's the only reason I'm having him at 6 is because I would have him higher, but I don't think he's going to actually play a lot of second this year. I think he's going to be
Play
more in the
third.
3 bag.
Yeah.
But I wanted to put him on the list just because I think he is also a bounce back candidate because he had a pretty abysmal season last year.
Yeah.
And this is Max Muncy of the LA Dodgers, not the other one who's a prospect for the Oakland A's. But I think he's better than what he showed last year. He does have a high K rate, but I mean, if he can get back to like ATC has it projected to hit 28 home runs, if he can give you even 25, you can live with the K rate and the lower average because 25 home runs plus he's in a good lineup, so he's going to get you some RBIs as well.
Yeah.
I just think he's going to be better than he was last year. So I kept him on my list, even though I do think he's going to play more 3 bag.
Yep, that makes sense.
Alrighty, number 5. I got Gleyber Torres of the New York Yankees. He was third among second base. He was third in home runs and RBIs and fourth in slugging. He does tend to strike out an insane amount of times, but with
22%.
hitting 24 bombs, I think he's gonna see an improve. I think 30 home runs, 80, 90 RBIs is not far out of the picture for Gleyber, and he's only 26, so he's just entering his prime now. I think he's gonna have a big year for the Yankees.
Yeah, he kind of really put it together last year.
I hope he can get a contract with the Yankees this year because I think this is the last year on his contract. But I hope they can look for an extension for him because he's just a guy I'd love to see stay in the lineup for sure. Alrighty, well for my 5, I have Arias. I love the
Nice.
high average. I think, like you guys are talking, no power, no RBIs. I get that, but in the league, that's average is dropping. Like, what's the I think the MLB average is 240. I think is what they had it at last year. To be batting he was the batting title. It was 320 something. So I think you have
McNeil
to
had the batting title at 320 something.
Yeah, so I have to put him top 5. I think that's very respectable. It's hard to hit a baseball, so these high
Yeah, that
averages.
it is.
And people watching the sport love to see hits. They love to see guys get on base. So I think if the
I like to see.
Marlins can get more guys on base, his RBI's numbers will rise, and I think he has another great year, and I hope he does because I really like him.
Yep, no, that's fair. I agree. I had him on my list too, but you'll see. At my number 5, I have the same as Caleb there. I got Gleyber. He really kind of came into his own last season. I was kind of down on him for the past while, but he really made me eat my words because I was pretty happy last season with his performance with 24 home runs, and you'll take that. You'll take that to the bank for sure. You want to see that out of him. Second in RBIs for second base. Above average hits and runs scored. His average is still a touch down, but and then like Caleb said, he strikes out a lot, 22% of the time. But if you're getting 24 home runs out of him and hitting in that many RBIs, like you're gonna take the strikeouts in place for those home runs and RBIs. So I'm happy with Gleyber at my 5.
especially where he sits in the lineup, right? Like,
Yeah, that's just
got, what is he, 5?
Yeah, he'd be
5?
right around 5 probably.
Yeah, so you have those
Got guys in front of him.
the top guys in front
Judge
of
strikes out, Stan strikes out. It's up to him.
you. Fair enough.
I think
He's
with
getting a lot of
the
Judge walks all the time. He's always on bag.
Yeah, that's true.
well, the guys who hit high home runs usually have higher K rates for
Right.
the most. Not always, but like
Seems to
usually
be
when
that
you're
way.
swinging for the fences, you tend to try to get more. So.
Yeah, that's a generic. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
Joe
For me at number
Gallo.
5, I have that's Joey Gallo or Cody Bellinger. Number 5, I got Andres Jimenez of the Cleveland Guardians. He had a really good year last year. He hit 300 average, like 297, but he rounded up to 300. 17 home runs, and he had 20 stolen bases, which is huge. And ATC has him projected to hit 264, so a little bit of regression there, but still 16 home runs, 67 RBIs, and they still have him projected to steal 22 bags. And I think he could probably even hit 25 with the new bags, with the size, like we talked about, the bigger bags.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think he's just an all-around good guy, and he's kind of just coming into his own now. He's only like 24 or 25, so I think he's going to have another solid season for the Guardians.
Yeah, 2021 rookie. Nobody knew him, and he really stepped up. I'm a fan of him.
Yep.
All right.
I also have Jimenez at 4.
Nice.
Bryson went over exactly what I was going to say, so we can kind of move on. He's a young guy, like only 24 years old, so
Sure.
still has a lot of room to improve. So, yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Well,
Ceiling's high.
I have a bit higher yet, so we'll get to him. I have Jeff McNeil at 4. I know the boys have him a bit higher or lower, I should say. But man, like I just preached with Arias, high average, and he's just on a better team. So I think those RBIs can get up. I think that's what puts him over the top of Luis. So I have him at my 4. I don't really have much more of an explanation than that, but that's why he's above 5. He's on 4.
Nice. I got Luis Arias at 4. I don't really need to spend any more time talking about him, so I guess we'll just move on from him.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Number 4, I have Brandon Lau of the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm basing it off him again, like Caleb said earlier. Like this is based on this season being injury free. Obviously, if he gets hurt again and kind of derails the season, then this is probably all going to be a wash. But I like he has a lot of pop in his bat when he does play. ATC has him projected to hit 24 home runs and have 80 RBIs, and I think if he can stay healthy, he's a big part of that Tampa Bay Rays lineup. Again, if you have a full season of Wander in there with him too, I just think that they could be sneaky good if he can stay healthy. That's the big if, and so I'm projecting him to be healthy, so that's why I have him at 4. But I can easily again understand the argument to not have him this high because he has struggled to stay on the field. So
yeah, no, I like that though.
Alrighty, number 3.
Yeah.
I got Ozzy Albies of the Atlanta Braves.
Nice.
Last year he was hurt, but like prior to that, like 2021, he played 156 games. 2020 when it was a COVID year or whatever, then played 160, 158 games 2 years prior to that. He just every year hits at least 20 some home runs, drives in a lot of guys. He steals bases and hits for a decent average. I think he brings a lot to the table, and he's still only 25 years old. He's been doing it since he was 21.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he's a number 1 fantasy second baseman if he stays healthy this year.
Yeah, it would be hard to argue.
It would be.
It's just like
just
like Lau. If he can stay healthy, he'll definitely move up the list.
That's a big thing with these lists is health. So you'll notice that in a lot of our lists. It's just health is a big deal, especially with fantasy because
it seems to be these second baggers though. I don't think we've talked too much about health other than now. Like we've talked a little bit about it, but it seems like there's so many of these 2-bag guys that are hurt all the time.
See, and now that I'm thinking of it, oh no, Trevor Story's a shortstop. I don't know. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Anyway, we're not going to worry about that.
He played second last year because of Bogarts, but he does play short too. But yeah, he's also hurt.
He's also hurt, so that's why I popped it in my brain. But for my 3, I got Marcus Semien. I like him so much because he can play every single game of the year, and the value in that in fantasy baseball is crazy. He He played 161 games last year, which is obviously just one short of a full season. And he did decent. I mean, he got 248, not great, whatever. 26 home runs.
A
One
very
of the
slow
top-
start.
Very slow start, and he really picked it up. And like the 26 home runs, that's a good number, especially on this list of two
Guys
baggers
that
we
don't
got
hit
here.
home runs.
Yeah, and I think just the versatility and the absolute, he's like an Iron Man, Phil Kessel of the MLB, I guess. Yeah, I love the durability on the guy. So he's my top 3.
Nice. I got Andres Jimenez at my number 3. I really like him for his speed. Hits a lot of RBIs. He's got a high average, hit 297 last year, and he's got pretty decent power, 17 home runs. So I think with his age combined with those stats and his ceiling, I think he definitely deserves to be pretty high on the list. So I'm happy with him at number 3, and you guys talked about him already. So
Yeah. I got mine will be quick and short too because I got Ozzy Albies at my 3 as well. Just for all the same things that Caleb said. He covered it all. Just hope the guy can stay on the field this year.
yep, nice.
Alrighty, my number 2, I got Marcus Semien. 25 stolen bases last year, which was second among second basemen. Hit 83 RBIs, 26 home runs, and if it wasn't for that slow start, he usually hits 30 bombs, probably 90 ribbies. And the last 4 full seasons, not including the COVID year, he's missed a total of 4 games. So like the best ability is availability, and like I traded for him at the start of the year. At the start of the year, I was not really happy with it, but as the year went on, I was super happy I traded for him, and I absolutely fleeced Chase, I think.
Hey, yo.
Shots fired.
Shots fired for sure. Alrighty. Well, my number 2, I have Andres Jimenez. What has he played? 2 years? 1 year? Not a lot. Young stud. And the defensive game, I know maybe that's not some fantasy leagues. It might be like for errors you get minus points, sure. But man, he's so good defensively. He's just so good. And like Bryson said, I guess round up to 300 average, 17 home runs in 146 games, 70 RBIs. I think those numbers could go up. Say if he plays 150 games, he could easily get maybe 20 home runs. I think 75 RBIs and like you said, 20 stolen bases is huge, and hopefully 25 this year. So I'm big on Jimenez.
Yep, I like it. Same here. All right. Well, at number 2, I got Jeff McNeil, and I have him this high because I just really like him. I think he's slept on too much, so I want to show him some love. So
It's fair enough.
I've had him on my team for the past like 3-4 years, so I got to show him my love at second base. He led an average, and that's just kind of a crazy average, 326, so that's kind of crazy. And then just like overall, he hits 300 plus like consistently. So there's that. Other than I guess, but it's kind of like no power, not much speed with 5 stolen bases. So it's kind of that's a decent
power,
factor into it. But I don't know. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna show him some love. We'll put him at 2 still.
That's the beauty of it is it's your list, so you get to pick
Exactly.
who goes where.
Yeah.
Do something about it.
Yeah. I got Semien at 2 as well.
Chase,
And
do you
yeah,
not
I
have Semien on your list?
Mhm.
Oh, I
Maybe it's
know.
one. Maybe it's one.
Yeah, I got again. Caleb covered everything with Semien. I think he's gonna have I think he started slow last year because there was a new team, kind of getting settled into a new stadium and all that. So I think he's gonna have a good start to this year. I think he's gonna have himself a solid year all around. So
Alrighty, my number
For
1.
one.
Wait, can I go first?
Kevin Biggio.
Sure.
All right. With my number 1, I'm swiping it because I got things to say. With my number 1, I got Marcus Semien because F. Altuve.
I like it.
That guy's not finding his way onto my list.
I love that.
I like
Semien,
it.
Love
I
that.
was
Led in
gonna
home
say, I
runs.
was like,
This is great.
led in stolen bases, led in runs, third in hits. And if you'll take a look at any of these stats, he led or anything that he's not actually statistically ahead of, it's because Altuve's there, but we're not talking about him, so I'm counting him as ahead.
He didn't have to
Um,
use trash cans to
Yeah,
get those
it doesn't
stats.
it doesn't count, so it's not on the board. So
That's great.
plays
I
a
love it.
lot of games. Only thing is his average is a little bit down. Other than that, I like him. He's a stud. Number 1.
Alrighty, my number 1 is a player that's going to remain nameless. Batted 300 last year, which was third among second baseman. Hit 28 home runs, which was first. 387 on base percentage, which was also first, and led the second baseman in slugging percentage. The only flaw with him is he does tend to miss a few games every year. Like last year, he missed 20. But other than that, I think he's number 1. Not going to say his name. Don't want to anger someone here. But that's why I have a number
think
1.
about it.
Joe
Well-
NHL at 1.
Joe NHL at 1. Well, I am gonna say his name. I have Jose Altuve at 1.
How dare you?
Boo.
I know. Cheater. But
Pumpkin eater.
yeah, I still got to put him at 1. I like Chase though. I respect that. Not having him on the list. Valid.
Fake Yankee fan.
Yeah. Trash Tuve.
Josh Juve.
Caleb just went over all his stats. 141 games. RBIs were awful low last year at only 58 on a solid. I guess what he bats lead off, so sure, whatever. That could be the reason.
Yeah.
But if you put that guy in the 4th spot or the 3rd spot, you'll see that probably closer to the 100 mark. So I had to put him at 1.
Fair enough. At number 1, I've got Santiago Espinal. Just kidding.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say what?
No, I got the guy that chases blackballing. So, I just I guess just again, I don't like the guy at all, but he produces for fantasy, so I had to put him at number 1.
Yeah,
And that's
well,
all I'm gonna say because you guys covered it. So
nice.
Yeah.
Another good one. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed our list. I hope everybody takes Trash Tuve or whatever off their list. Don't include him.
don't
And-
draft him.
Yep.
Don't draft them yet. Leave them
Don't
undrafted.
draft him. Leave him in the
bad
free
luck.
agents.
Keep their roster percentage low.
Keep his roster percentage below 10 preferably.
Yeah.
And everybody will be happy. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Yeah.